guys, bman here. Welcome to today's video. Today we've got an awesome one for you guys. What we have today is, in my mind, an S tier Valby build that is only mid-game build. Yes, I heard you guys on my other video, my leopard build, and you guys said how much you appreciated me keeping this to just mid-game because everyone else is making top-end, late-game builds that you can't really obtain within outplaying the game for a month. So I hear you guys. I've kept this to mid-game for you guys. This build is solely mid-game. What we mean by mid-game is when you're doing the story mission, you will, while doing the story mission, you will get 2 energy activators and a catalyst while you're doing the story mission. By the time you get to the hard mode bosses, you should have at least 2 energy activators and a catalyst. In this build, I only have 1 energy activator used on the Descendant, and the gun that I'm using is a gun that pretty much everyone probably has and probably used an activator on, the Tamer. We've got the Tamer with an energy activator on that and 1 catalyst on the Tamer, but that's just because that was my preference for the weapon. So this is a very mid-game build. Nothing in this build is from hard mode bosses or anything, although they might improve it and this build can get a lot more powerful. I show you guys that with just the base stuff, a really minimum build, this will absolutely destroy. In this video, I go through and we destroy the Pyro boss on hard and the Executioner boss on hard solo to show you how effective this build is. How I've built this build is we're mainly built focusing on survivability for the Descendants skill modules itself, and then pretty much we're relying on our gun for the DPS, because how this module is, we have a Descendant module that you actually farm from this mission that you see me farming right here, which is in hard mode, but it's a mid-game farm. You don't have to kill a hard boss to get this Descendant mod, so you can farm for here. This is actually how I got my one originally, is farming this mission right here, and you'll be able to see what mission this is if you go through in your game. It will tell you and take you straight to it. But with that said, guys, as you see here, we have crazy survivability. We're in hard mode solo and we have no trouble surviving very easily. How this build is what we do is it's all about the crit rates on our gun. When we're standing on water, we get an extra 20% crit rate, base crit rate on our gun, which means we're hitting, like you see here, crazy number of crits on a Tamer that normally only has a 10% crit rate, so you don't normally build with crits. Well guys, let's go over this build and tell you guys exactly what it is. Now, I have got 1 item in this build that's from the Slayer, from the Pyro boss, but ignore that. That's just because I don't have a non-Pyro boss one to swap it out for. Okay, guys? It's irrelevant that that is a set one from a boss. Don't worry about that. All you're going through for the slots, all of these slots here, is trying to get the maximum HP that you can get out of these and defense, okay? So as you see here, I've got HP, defense, and HP. Okay, now on top of that, when you're fighting bosses, you want to actually try and put the boss's resistance into here. So for this build, you'll see we have the fire resistance into here. This is enough resistance for taking on the Pyro boss on hard. We didn't have to add other resistances on top of it. Same with this one here, the electric resistance for taking on the Executioner. This is enough resistance. You don't need to worry about more. So with that said, let's get over this build. What we have is we have our Reactor. We have it for fusion and non-attribute skills, but really this build does not rely highly on our skill damage. Our skills are doing a lot of damage, but that's not what we're actually focusing towards. So it doesn't matter if we don't get a perfect Reactor for this one. So we've just got a generic Reactor, but remember this is a mid-game build, so nothing's going to be your perfect. If you don't have the perfect item, it doesn't matter, okay? This is just mid-game and you can get a lot better later on. So everything here is just generic. We're focusing this for health and defense on these slots here, and try and get your best Reactor that can match you. Now as you see here with this, we have 22,000 defense and we have 11,000 health, okay? So that's pretty awesome here. We have low shield and stuff, but that doesn't matter, and we have really high damage output for our Tamer. Now for this is the build that we're going for, okay? We're using supply moisture, and you can get this from that mission that I showed you we were grinding at the start. It's an easy mission to grind out, and that's how I got this one. Then we're running MP collectors so that we always have our MP to be able to constantly throw out water whenever we need it, whenever we need water, because being able to be on water all the time is your main reason for doing a lot of damage. We have Technician just because, hey, extra bit of damage on the output from that water ticking on them is cool. Why not? We got the slots. Then we've got Skill Expansion. This is cool because it makes our water have a bigger area, so we've got more area to be able to move around from while we're fighting bosses, etc., and still be on water. Same with this one, makes our water stay on the ground longer, so we can be hitting criticals for longer without having to recast it. Then we're all about survivability. We got lots of health and lots of defense so that we can survive a lot, because we don't have to worry about skill damage because we're actually doing weapon damage. So we can put these items into survivability. So that's why we've got really good survivability, and we buff our weapon. This skill here buffs both our skills and our weapon critical hit rate by 20%. It's absolutely broken. So accompany that, normally our Tamer would only have a 10% critical hit rate. But as soon as we're standing on water, this goes up to 30%. So nearly every third bullet you're hitting for 2.7 times damage. So with that said, we're doing so much more damage, it's crazy. So it busts the Tamer up to way higher DPS than what this is saying when we're standing on water. So what we've got here, if we've got the standard attachments on for your Tamer, and then what we've done on these next ones is we've gone along and we've, as I said, we've added an energy activator onto our Tamer, and then I've added a catalyst on our Tamer so I can go along and add firearm damage, critical hit damage onto this, because we're doing so many crits. And then the final one we do, we want the element, because that adds a lot of damage onto your thing. So we've got, going up against the pyro, I added chill. If we're going up against the executioner, add electric, and so on. So this is the build here that we're using for this, and as you see, we're hitting for, when we're hitting our criticals, we're hitting for a lot more damage on our criticals. Now, as you'll see, we're only at 10% crit rate, but that goes up to 30% whenever we're standing on water. So for that reason, this goes crazy. Now with that said, guys, let's get in and we'll show you this up against the executioner and the pyro boss. Remember, if this helps you out, smash that like button for me. Leave me an awesome comment. Keep being awesome. Make sure you have an awesome day. Thank you for watching my videos, and I'll catch you in the next one. bman.